It is April the 2nd, 2019, and we're going to talk about what happened tonight at the Anderson County Council meeting.
Yes, this was our first Anderson County Council meeting of the month. We meet on the first and third Tuesdays, and tonight we had a pretty slim agenda. We started out with citizens' comments on agenda matters, which is always part of the format. But after that, the South Carolina Association of Counties, which is a group in Columbia that's a collective organization of all the counties in the state, sent a representative to give us an award, and it was a positive award, and it honored some of our staff who had worked diligently in risk management, because counties pull together like many organizations and working with workers' comp and injuries and want to keep those costs down and keep people safe. And we won an award where our staff was reporting in not just a timely manner, but in such a quick manner, it was actually helping us keep costs down. So that was a positive thing. From that, we didn't have anything in third reading tonight, but in second reading and in first reading, we had two economic development projects that were fee in lieu of tax deals. Mr. Boris Nelson went on to explain in one of them how going from farmland to a business use actually increases the value of the taxes, because if it's in farmland, people don't get charged too much of property taxes for farmland. But if it goes into a business use, then they get charged more. So this was a win for the county, and it was a development in the Pendleton area, Sandy Springs area, that was going to have positive impact. From there, we went into two ordinances that were in first reading, and it garnered a level of discussion because I think everybody on council knew the intent of the ordinances, but like most things, they did not want it to unintentionally grab or hinder somebody who wasn't doing anything wrong. Sometimes people will have businesses run out of their house. In zoned areas that are residential, this could be problematic due to the nature of their business. If there's heavy machinery or raw materials or like a manufacturing environment, that would be detrimental maybe to the safety of the folks around a neighborhood. But at the same time, many people have side businesses that they operate, and we didn't want an ordinance that was so cumbersome that would impede them from doing something that wasn't a nuisance to everybody else. So I think that moves forward, but it moved forward with a lot of discussion from council members, and ultimately I don't see that it will be passed unless people can feel comfortable that those measures are in place. But council members are definitely talking about it and want to make the right decision. From that, we went into executive session, and that's where we go into a side room where the lawyer explains legal matters to us, and if it was anything about acquisition of property and right-of-ways, anything from like doing sewer lines or paving, and then how some appeals processes work when things go through the planning commission and on the circuit court.
And tonight's what sewer's talking about, the well-pine sewer is the issue about, and y'all agreed to let at least the attorney move ahead with figuring out what the county might consider, right?
Yes, and what ends up happening is a lot of times the attorney wants to bring us up to date on what's going on and sort of say, this is the direction I'm moving forward. I will be coming back to you once I get all the information needed for making a decision. And that routinely happens from different county council meetings. Sometimes it's just informational. Sometimes we come back with an actual decision. From there, we went into road accepting into the county inventory. And one of the things that one of the council members pointed out was, do all of these roads meet the requirements to come into the county? And we have a roads and bridges team who will go out and actually inspect them and make sure that they're a high level of quality or meet the standard before they come into county inventory and before we accept them. One of the good news of tonight was the Duke Energy Foundation awarded a $100,000 grant for what they call the Blue Trail. It's being able to kayak down the Saluda River on the sort of north end of the county, and just it's one of those things that's just a positive thing. It allows people to get outdoors, really enjoy nature, and see the county in a very pristine and natural way.
And particularly to make it accessible, the accessibility part of it, it's something that makes it different than other.
Yeah, no, that was an added benefit that I really think that Anderson County really makes huge strides in, is making it accessible to anybody with a disability, to make sure they can enjoy it in the same way everybody else does. And that grant will go a long way in making that happen. With that, we ended with requests from council, and we had a couple of couple of worthy causes from each district that people were wanting to support with certain allocations. And then we went into an administrator's report when didn't have any information to receive there. And then at the end, citizens' comments. A lot of compliments about what staff had been doing around the county, some ideas on how to market and transmit county information, and also some ideas on how to do some recycling. So it was a good evening with a good amount of discussion and a lot of input from individuals who decided to come out. So with that, we move on to the next meeting, the third Tuesday of the month, and expect it to probably grow in agenda matters as we approach the budget coming up in June, but a lot of positive momentum.
And that's something you mentioned at the end of the meeting to get everybody informed of the budget, because that is the next big thing the county's got to get done here in the next 2 months.
Yeah, the budget's going to come out in the next 2 months because we start our fiscal year July 1. In the past, in some instances, the budget went into committee. And one of the things I was bringing up tonight is let's bring it straight to council. That way every council member can see it at the same time. We can dig into it, have discussion, talk to our constituents, and begin talking about it at council meetings as the staff has it ready and brings it forth prepared.
And as always, we want to invite more people to take part in council meetings.
Yes, I tell everybody. I mean, it's open to the public. It's first and third. Hopefully maybe you're watching this, but you can also get on an email list that will let you see all the agenda items beforehand. And even if you can't come out, feel free to call your council member if you have an item of question. But anytime people can come out, we welcome it. And we usually garner a good amount of input, and it's useful.